Hello, everybody. Welcome to our PFI Plant a Tree Award 2024. I'd like to start by reminding everybody that we are recording. If you do not want to be visible, please turn off your cameras, but at all times, please mute yourselves. Thank you. As usual, we start our meetings with a spiritual moment, a moment of reflection. And I would like to hand over the microphone to Gwiddon.
Hello, everybody. To open our meeting, I would like to present a poem from Ismael S Rodriguez Jr. from his collection Pagan Poetry of the Light. And I want to remind that it's a moment of reflection, and it's a moment for all of us to remember our place in the world, of reverence for nature and all it bestows, that we are nature. And the poem goes like this. In the forest's depths, where the trees reach high and the sunlight filters through the canopy's eye, there in the clearing where the earth meets sky, the ancient pagan gods come alive. But this is not a tale of darkness and despair, nor of sacrifice and blood that we fear. This is a story of light and hope, of reverence for nature and all it bestows. The breeze that whispers through the leaves carries with it secrets of ancient beliefs, of the cycles of life, death, and rebirth, and the harmony that exists between the earth. The fire that crackles and dances bright illuminates the darkness of the night and reminds us of the warmth of the sun that sustains all life till its journey is done. The earth beneath our feet, soft and kind, is the mother that nurtures all living things and reminds us of the fragility of life and the importance of cherishing every moment in time. So let us embrace the pagan ways of old, of reverence for nature and the stories it holds, and may the light of the pagan gods guide us on our journey till our souls find repose. And so with these words, I would like to hand over the evening back to Morgana and the award that she's going to present.
Thank you, Gwiddon. How do we come to this evening or afternoon for many people? We've got a really wide audience. People from America, from Canada, from the Netherlands, from Germany. So thank you all for coming, because it is a very special moment. Every year, PFI has an action or a campaign. It's called Plant a Tree. And this campaign runs from Winter Solstice, 21st of December, through to Spring Equinox, March 21st. During that period, everybody who renews their membership with PFI or becomes a new member or would just like to donate, part of their fees will go towards this campaign. At the end of the 3 months. We then see how much has been raised. Actually, we look right then to see which people do we know who are actually really, really helping our environment by planting a tree or working with their communities. The very, very first year that we actually had our campaign, the recipients were a group of people in, of all places, India, in a place called Bankura. And they helped the environment by a huge project, which we called affectionately later the mango tree planting project. In the end, PFI adopted that project, and the money that we raised still helps them to keep their project going. So when we look for projects or people, it's important that we're able to also, as PFI, able to help them continue their projects. So it's very, very important that we're able to keep contact with the people involved. This year, for the first time, the recipients are actually in the Netherlands. It's the first time we've actually had a recipient in the Netherlands. In other years, we've had people from Poland, from Hungary, and this year it's now going to volunteers in the Netherlands. I would like now to present the Plant a Tree Award 2024 to Jody and her volunteers from the Schansker Food Town, or in English, the Schansker Food Garden. They are online. Jans and Jody. It was actually Jans who put me on the track of Jody and the garden. So I'm very, very grateful for Jans and all the work he's done to actually let us know about the Schansker Food Town or Food Garden. What I'd really like to do now is to ask them to come and present more about the garden, the food garden, and I would like to show some of the work they've been doing. So I would like now for Jody and Jans, are you ready?
Yes.
Very good. I'll show the award later. I think it's more important actually right now just to see the work you've been doing. So I'll start by sharing the, hang on. As usual. There we go. So let's settle down. Let's have a good time. You know, Jody and Jans have been doing some fabulous, fabulous work. Remember, they are both Dutch and English is not their native language. So I'll be helping a little bit. So please bear in mind, the questions we will reserve till later, but let's enjoy and hear more about the Schansker Food Garden. So Jody, how did you actually start? How did you ever even get round to creating the food garden? Because I understand that you were really the driving force behind this. When did you actually start the food garden?
I start in 2022. Um, but I have been thinking about it since my youth. Um,
What when you said your youth, how old were you? How old were you when you started thinking about the importance of a food garden?
I'm like 15 or 16.
Really?
I was first started about how food is produced and how it's harming the environment and our health and the wealth of animals. So I wanted to do something about that.
Mm-hmm. And what are the main areas of work in which you have been involved? Which areas?
In which areas? What do you mean exactly?
Well, we can see from the picture here that there are examples of carrots, people working, there's buildings, but which are the
Uh,
areas which you really like best? So, I mean, you've got the soil restoring vegetables. What are soil restoring vegetables? How does that actually work?
it's the vegetables are grown in soil covering mulch, and this soil is not walked on, which ensures optimal soil life and soil structure. So the plants in their defense against pests and insects and ensure a good drainage. But make sure water can also be retained well for dry times. And this not only benefits the vegetables, but also stores CO2 in the soil, which provides space for a wide variety of insects, fungi, and bacteria, and we we also need, of course. We grow an incredible wide of range of different crops and build a greenhouse. Uh, uh, we build a very big greenhouse to be able to offer fresh vegetables in the winter and to grow the more southerly crops. And vegetables are offered in packages. You can choose from the vegetables or for the vegetables only, or combined with fruits, or also with meat or eggs, or we also offer them separately.
Yes, because one of the things that I noticed as I was looking at the whole project, of course, Jans had already told me that there were various things you were doing, but we'll hear more about the voluntary work later. But one of the things that we were looking at the holistic lambs to vegetable garden pigs and grass-fed chicken and turkey. And of course, the one thing that you were saying was that the animals have plenty of space to enjoy and develop natural behavior. Why is the natural behavior so important? Um, why is it important that the sheep can walk alone or not be penned in? What is the advantage of the sheep being able to walk freely?
Because of their happiness, and their happiness is making sure they are also a lot healthier, and also that makes sure they have their meat is more healthy for us to eat.
Yeah. Yeah, you were saying that because the grass fed, that the meat contains a high percentage of omega fats. I didn't actually realize that, because of course we're always being told that omega-3, particularly omega-3, is very good for keeping our cholesterol down, and the positive effects it has on diabetes. But so does that actually apply to the grass-fed chicken and turkey, or sometimes we hear about hormones and what have you, but are you able to keep? So what do they actually eat? They eat grass, and what else do they eat?
Bushes and herbs, and a little bit biological sheep food, like from the fabric, but only we try to make it only grass fed and from bushes and herbs, but sometimes a little bit from fabric.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I remember thinking or seeing that you call them herb eggs.
Yes.
Do the herbs really have such an effect on? I think you were saying that it makes the yolks much yellower. Is that really true?
Yes, the food is coming. It's make sure in the color of the eggs, and also in the healthiness of the eggs.
Yeah, and of course in the pictures here we also have a pig. I think it really is so lovely to see pigs just sniffing about in the woods. So, and the meat produced is entirely from the free range, or the pigs can eat anything they want, more or less. But what do they like the most?
Sorry, what do they like the most?
Yeah, what do the pigs like most?
Sleeping and going into the ground to look for insects and roots, and yeah, but they also eat grass and herbs.
So they're basically the great cleaners.
Yeah, they also eat insects, what are bad for the crops.
Fantastic.
But the chickens are more like that. They more clean up the bad insects.
Really? Yeah. That's interesting. So there's the between the chickens and the pigs, you have a pretty clean environment, I guess.
Yeah, you can even teach pigs to eat the snails who eat all the veg.
Oh yes. Well, this summer I had a complete infestation of snails. I could have done with a couple of pigs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we add some ducks to the animals, and like Indian runner ducks, and they are specialized to eat naked snails.
Ah, I see. I understand. So yeah. Coming to the work that the volunteers have been able to do, I can see here, I understand that you have a shop and there is some building going on here. What have you actually been doing? What have the volunteers been doing?
They help us building and making fences for the animals, or house for the animals, or work in the greenhouse, working with the plants, or yeah, like everything what needs to be done.
Mm-hmm. And of course, in the very first slide, we saw everybody having what you call the garden dinners. So can you explain a little bit more about the concept of garden dinners?
Yeah, we sit outside on large tables together, and we prepare meals like everyone gets a few meals which you can just take, like how you say.
Mm-hmm. It sounds fantastic. I remember Jans telling us about the workshops. Jans, do you actually hold your workshops at the food garden, or do you hold workshops in other places?
No, almost in other places, but on a garden next year, for example, the first workshop. Yeah, how do you say it in English? Over well, maybe you can help me, Morgana, over enten van bomen.
Oh, right. So you're more concerned with trees. So the
Yeah,
planting tree award is really up your street,
yeah,
actually.
it's all right. It's all right.
Right.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
Well, yeah. So
and
I'll be hearing more about your activities. As I say, within PFI, of course, we have the opportunity to advertise and help people promote their own workshops or what have you. Unfortunately, I've not been able to attend any of your workshops yet, Jans, because, well, for one thing, we've only just kind of met recently, but I really do hope that we will be able to come and visit the food garden.
yeah, welcome.
Would be cool.
Well, thank you so much for telling us more about the Schansker Food Garden. And I think we'll all agree that this year's Plant a Tree Award is going to a wonderful project and dedicated team. So, congratulations again, and may
Thank you.
2025 be a fruitful year.
A fruitful year. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
We hope so.
Oh,
Thanks a lot.
oh. Yeah, thanks, Jody. That was great. As I say, I do really do hope that we will be able to come and visit you and have some and buy some of those herb eggs. They sound delicious.
Yeah.
You're
Okay,
very welcome.
thank you. Um, is I can't see everybody, but is Catharina with us?
Yes,
There's Catharina. Yeah, Catharina. Um, I'm going to really one of the people or one of the groups of people I was also looking at when I was looking for the Planetary Award was actually Katharina and Karen. Unfortunately, Karen's not with us today. And we were actually working together on a couple of projects, a couple of things going on from the Four Worlds Europe. And Katharina is also one of the grandmothers of Europe. And of course, we've been coming together on many, also working with Indigenous principles and what have you, things like hospitality. So we're very close as far as coming from a pagan background, from the Indigenous background. But I'd like Katharina just to give us a little bit of an idea of why it's so important for us to support these kind of projects and perhaps tell a little bit about the work we've been doing with Four Worlds Europe. Go ahead, Katharina.
oh, thank you so much, Morgana, to be here. I am
Yes.
so delighted. My name is Catharina Gieskens, and I'm coming from the delta of the Mother River Rhine, so very close to the end of the river. And well, actually, I'm coming from a farm as well. So I am so happy to be here, part of this award, and see that young people are awarded. I think this is very important, and because the young people really, they need to see where the food is growing. I think there is so what you're doing is an incredible example where many people can come together. And I am really happy that this is the choice. I will tell a little bit about the background from where my dear sister Morgana, we have been working together, and we are working already for many years in a foundation for World Europe, which wasn't for a foundation always. Actually, it started much earlier by the long time prophecies that there will come a time where the knowledge of Indigenous people is needed to make the connection with Mother Earth again. And I know in the pagan tradition, this connection is also very important. And for Worlds International, this foundation was already for many, many years and really traveling around to say people, how do you say that? There is a time that all will be connected. And the Chief Phil Lane, he is a Native American chief. He visited also the Netherlands, Friesland. And that's where it all started with my sister Karin and her husband, Peter. And they have been working very much on dialogue, World Dialogue Foundation, and really see how as a group of people healing can be provided. It was based on 16 principles that are brought into the world by many circling around Indigenous communities. What can we give the world as a kind of guidelines if you want to protect nature, and if you go to, well, what I call it a fourth way, which transcends assimilation, resignation, and conflict, and to really make partnerships and build human family with all nation and people. By now, there's also developed a digital fourth way. And we have in our groups also young people who really dived into that, how you can build something sustainable in the digital world as well. The Foundation for World Europe came into life in 2015, where a lot of people gathered around a stone circle in Dalfsen, along the river, the Vechte. So this was the moment it was called. And only a year later, the foundation was founded. A group of people was invited during the Paris climate top to an Indigenous climate top in Millemont, where many Indigenous people came together. And what was very special, and that really went into our foundation, there was created a space for women, a sacred space for women. Every morning they came together in a circle. And this was a kind of continuous line along the normal climate top. And there were connections between us both, but the women had a special role by bringing everything together, sitting in circle, and, well, digesting also what there was so much happening, of course. In 2016, there was the big protest you probably heard about, Standing Rock. And this is actually how we met, and where I came in, because there was the protest, and that's where I met Karin, and I saw, I say, what can I offer to support this? And she said, if you want to support something, support a sacred space for women. So we supported in a way that we collected, how do you say, the crowdfunding for a yurt, a big yurt, which is still there somewhere, where the women can come together, because it was the grandmothers and the women who first started to support the young people. And then when the camp was growing, there was no space for them anymore. You know, all the places were filled. So from that time, we always focused on sacred space for women. In what organization we work, there's always a space where everyone can come together. And of course, the men are also invited to support. But this always makes that there is a warm place.
Mm-hmm.
So this principle has been with us all the time. It was a continuation in Lot Lorien. We made a sacred space. In the Kiva, we have been bringing in the space, sacred space for women. And in 2018, there was ignited a Sacred Circle of Indigenous Women of Europe. In that time, we have been around so many Indigenous people, and they all say, go back to your own roots. So that's the first time that we really felt like we say this now here from our roots, which continues in the 2020. There was of course, the whole COVID came along, and we really have been together with a circle of grandmothers online for every week. And we were every week along the water, and it's like the water has been connecting us from Switzerland to Germany to Wageningen to the ends. And there was so much connection that time through the water, through the nature. You know, from the Sacred Circle of Indigenous Women and the Indigenous grandmothers, there came the Freezy. That was also running already a long time, but we really have been diving into the own roots in the time that the North Sea was still land, the Doggerlands, probably you know about it. And where, so in 2022, we ignited that roots, and we were really guided by the Indigenous people of the Alifuru. And by that, in 2024, the North Sea bioregion was proclaimed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And there is a connection, you know, it looks like it are all little steps, and it's all connected.
Mm-hmm.
But from traveling, and it's, you know, it's like it's a birth every day, you know. So we can also now make a welcome ceremony when people from abroad are coming. We really give them a welcome on this land and these waters. And we have had also with dear Sister Morgana, we have been talking about it. If we're traveling, we can share our lands and with them, that they can really feel at home. And the idea to build real human family, and that we give each other a home.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Maybe this is enough for now. There are more things. Oh, there's one thing I want to know. When we are traveling, we really try to travel by 3 or by 5, and always including the young generation.
Yes.
We really always be a bridge, and that we are a little bit on the back, you know, that we really are holding space for new things to grow. I think this is very shortly going through some of the things we've been doing these last years, and I'm really looking forward to probably also see your project one day, Jody and Jans. We will be going the next year to do a bioregion proclamation, probably somewhere in the north. So, but it's not sure yet, but we are working on it. And well, yes, thank you so much for having the, how do you say that, the feather or the space.
Thank
and
you.
Back to you, to the middle.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Catharina. As I say, I'm just so thrilled about the work we've been doing, and as we've just pointed out, this sense of hospitality, but even more crucial, I think, is this building up of these circles of trust and love that we can really share together in that sacred space by recognizing our ancestors and what people have done in the past. I just realized that I didn't do a land acknowledgement. Catherine from Canada is very good at doing the land acknowledgements. So we must remember, but it's this kind of thing. Oh yes, remember the land acknowledgements. Steve, I remember we for Charles for Compassion spent a long time working on different forms of land acknowledgements, but it is this giving and taking and actually sharing things. So perhaps we can work on again in the Netherlands a little bit more also with Jody, but certainly in the north as well, that we'll be giving more attention to with PFI and with Four Wales Europe in other parts of the Netherlands. So thank you very, very much, Catharina, and hope to see you in real life soon. And thank you again for spending some time with us this evening or this afternoon. Thank you. Moving on, at this particular point, I'm just wondering if anybody else has got something to share, because it's a joyous evening or time when we can also share. Has anybody got anything they would like to share with us now? A poem, a thought, or even a song? Anybody? I have a lot of poems, but I'm going to reserve mine till the end. So has anybody got anything at hand? If not, I shall just explain what goes on after this. So anybody got anything to share? Catherine, have you got anything handy? Steve, I know did have something handy, but I can't show it on in the recording, unfortunately, Steve, because it's copyrighted. But Steve shared a wonderful clip today about earthism, and how it can all be earthists. I'll put the link of that when we go offline, because it was a wonderful video. So thank you, Steve, for sharing that this morning. Let's see how it works.
All right. So I stumbled upon a group just 2 days ago called Mindfully Blessed, and they have a lot of wonderful offerings around being in touch with the earth and having compassion for the earth, and also spreading compassion to all of the beings in earth, including us two-leggeds, us people, and really creating love and a nurturing environment for everyone who inhabits the world. So my first entry to this group was this short Earthisms are a simple way to help, love, bless, and honor our beautiful earth. I'll go ahead and read what it's saying. I bless the Earth's hydrosphere and the immense contribution it serves. I bless everything that the hydrosphere encompasses, from the water to the water cycle, to the clouds and the rain. I bless the water table and the groundwater, the oceans and the currents and the tides. I bless the runoff that serves a valuable purpose. I bless the entire cycle of water as it circulates around the earth. There's an invitation to become an earthist. And an earthist is someone who, I'm going to pause this for a moment, is one who practices earthism by loving, honoring, and protecting the planet Earth with respect, gratitude, and appreciation for all living things. To quote Buckminster Fuller, "Never forget that you are one of a kind. Never forget that if there weren't any need for you in all of your uniqueness to be on this earth, you wouldn't be here in the first place. And never forget, no matter how overwhelming life's challenges and problems are, that one person can make a difference in the world. In fact, it is always because of one person that all the changes that matter in the world come about. So be that person."
Thank you. Thank you, Steve. That was I've put the link in the chat so everybody can look at it later as well. But thank you very much for bringing it to our attention. Earthism. So are we all earthists? Well, I keep saying we're all indigenous to Earth, so maybe we are earthists if we're indigenous to Earth. It's amazing how time flies, but we're coming to the end of our meeting. What I'd just like to point out before we all go is that I said at the beginning of the meeting that the campaign Plant a Tree Action runs from Winter Solstice to Spring Equinox, and this year is no exception. So I will be putting details of how and what this actually entails. But generally speaking, the campaign is actually, if you would like to donate to this Plant a Tree Action campaign, then if you would like to become a member of PFI or renew your membership, then all the fees that come in, PFI will deduct €2, basically put it aside, and then at the end of the 3 months I tally it up, of course, and what I normally do is then just match it again with a little bit more extra. You can also make a donation without being a member if you just want to be a friend of PFI, but I would encourage everybody to become a member, of course. Because if you've seen with Catharina as well, we are international. We try to serve on all continents. We haven't got any presence in China, but we do have PFI chapters in many countries. We have PFI in Poland, for example. I think our national coordinator, Louisa, is online. What we try to do with the various chapters as well is to help pagans, heathens, to become more aware of their own culture in their own countries. So while we're international, PFI Netherlands, for example, does try to encourage people to find out more about our cultural history our backgrounds, but like Catharina said as well, learn more about our environment. So look out for the next round of Plant a Tree Action for 2025, and I will inform all of you how you can make donations, of course. And if you really, really like what Jody is doing in Bad Nieuweschans in the north of the Netherlands, then of course a donation, if you make the donation to me, I will make sure she gets it. Okay, so if you feel that this Plant a Tree Action Award is still valid for certainly people like Jody and the volunteers there, we're always open. We like Catharina said as well, certainly projects which are we try to work intergenerationally as well, but certainly young people who are trying to get projects off the ground, we're more than happy to help. As I say, we're still helping the people in West Bengal, in Bankura, and would you believe one of the last donations we made, they said it was enough money, would you believe this, to buy some more land, some more ground, not just planting trees. So really, you know, we can help each other financially, but so often it's our attention, our working together and exchanging ideas and listening to stories and being inspired. This is the most valuable thing, and that's how we can do with our community. So let's hope that we'll see each other online, but also in real life, and let's keep our community thriving, and let's continue to share. We really have come to the end, but it's never the end, of course. It's only a new beginning. And as we move towards the winter solstice, I would just like to thank everybody for being here this evening or this afternoon. I keep saying this evening because it's pitch black outside. Let's come together, and here is a candle. Creator of all things, today let our hearts be open to the blessings that surround us. Grant us the peace to hold space for both our bodies and spirits, while remembering the histories and stories that must not be forgotten. May we walk in kindness and compassion, with a heart that sees abundance in the simplest of gifts, the warmth of loved ones, the beauty of the earth, and the strength of communities united in love and resilience. Let gratitude guide our actions and grace shape our words as we count our blessings and share them with others. So mote it be. So mote it be. Thank you all for being with us today on this wonderful event, this wonderful moment when hopefully our young people, but also everywhere, that everybody is helping the environment, above all, the living environment, in every kind of way. Thank you all very, very much for being here. And as we say, blessed be. Thank you.